Erin Frame, Sober Fierce, protecting your sobriety during social gatherings with family and friends.
Hi, I am Erin Frame, and I'm here with another episode of Sober Fierce. So, I officially got together with my family. So, thank God this COVID thing is slowly getting behind us. I have one vaccine. My husband has two. As I might have said before, parents are vaccinated. Brother and sister-in-law partially. I got a chance to meet my brand new niece and nephew. They were recently adopted by my brother and his awesome wife. And they're so amazing. They're like 6 and 7 years old, and just have so much to say. So I was very nervous. I knew they were coming, and I know that we have fun drinking together. I mean, it's just what we do as a family. We walk in the house. My dad's like, what do you guys want? Is it a Manhattan? Is it a margarita? Is it wine and a Manhattan? It's just kind of what we do. So I was worried, and the first night I went over there, I brought my kombucha and they were all drinking. My brother was drinking the way I like to drink, get your wine in a pounder, not a wine glass. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't need any like frilly fancy glass. I just want to drink my wine. So he had his pounder and everybody had beers. And then my husband decides to go buy a bottle of wine before we leave, which I was really not happy with. And I kind of snapped at him. I mean, I think he just sees me as doing so well that I'm fine. It's like, oh, she's just decided not to drink. There's no issues. And he doesn't really think about it. So I felt kind of bad. I kind of bit his head off actually. And he's like, well, then we won't bring it. I go, well, I don't want it here. Granted, I haven't really been tempted to dig into any stash that's here. So that's good. So yeah, we went over and I was feeling a little kind of weird. I was sitting at the dinner table. Both people on each side of me had a wine glass full of wine, not just a little taster, but full of wine. But the one thing that was really important to me is that people feel comfortable to be themselves around me, because I really cannot be that person that, controls the room. I mean, not that I have that power, but you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of feel like, oh gosh, so-and-so doesn't drink. And I don't want to drink as much. And I used to hate that. I might have mentioned that before, but even though I wouldn't be drinking as much, I just didn't feel comfortable with my drinking. So I wouldn't have as much fun. So I just went about my night as if everything was normal. And I, drank my water. I drank my other, bubblies and all that type of stuff. Unfortunately, my husband got pretty hammered, and he doesn't usually get like that. And I think it's because he hasn't been drinking very much because of me. And now he had a social experience with my family, like I said, who, it's a big celebration. We don't all see each other all the time. So that was a fun night. And I have to say, being sober with a bunch of drunk people is extremely annoying. But it's something that I have to do, and I'm okay with that. And they're having a good time, and it's about me finding a way to have a good time myself. So the first night was a little rough. I'll be honest. I was just ready to go. I had a great time. And when the time was over, I was like, let's go home. And then I had to deal with my husband. So that was behind us. And then it just got easier from there. They came over to our house and we cooked dinner, and they didn't even bring beer, which is kind of funny because my husband bought a 6-pack so he could have some beer, and then everybody else was drinking his beer. So everyone got like one beer. So it worked out for me. I don't know about for them, but yeah, it was good. And, I even said, you guys are welcome to have whatever you want. I didn't even think about telling you to bring your own BYOB. And they were all just fine not to drink. So that was kind of neat. It's not something I would expect every time, but it's kind of nice. And then last night we went over and people were drinking, not as much. And then, of course, they broke out their kind of evening after dinner drinks. And I did fine. I just feel like it does feel a little weird. Like, how am I going to have fun with people? And I've said that before. And it's just this kind of depression. It's kind of a depressing feeling, like, kind of waiting for that time of the day to drink my alcohol gave me something to look forward to. It's like, okay, I'm going to work my butt off today. And at whatever time, I'm going to drink. And I'm going to feel that buzz. And I'm going to feel my legs go numb. And I'm just going to relax. And then I'm going to overdo it. Then I'm going to continue to drink. And then I'm going to say, that bottle's already gone. And then I'm going to say, do I want to go get more? Yes, I do. So, it's really nice not yes, I might be missing out on that initial drink and that initial feeling. But after that, it was just the immediate guilt would kick in, and then I would drink too much and I would just get tired. I mean, honestly, that's the majority of what alcohol did to me, was numbed everything and made me tired. One thing I'll say though, with my husband having consumed too much booze that night, in the past, we would have been in a fight. It would have I would have been so annoyed with him, and not fair. He's having his experience. I'm having mine. But I was annoyed, but I wasn't like argumentative fighting, other than when he decided to go sit in his car and play opera. And I found him out there. So it was an interesting evening. So not to totally give all the details away, but it was funny, and he had a great time, and that's all that mattered. And really, realistically, I love the fact that he still is doing his thing and I'm doing mine. And I think that I'm definitely influencing, some of his decisions, which is only good for his health, and that's it. So yeah, so I guess my first family experience was very successful. And I do feel more confident now, knowing like if people come visit us that I'll be fine, and a couple times this week I thought to myself, gosh, I could just have a sip. I actually thought that. I'm like, I could just have a sip. And then I thought about people watching me right now. And I thought to myself, accountability is huge. And me starting this Sober Fierce podcast, what a way to stay accountable to people. Like, I couldn't lie to you guys. There's no way. I couldn't come on here and lie to you about, the fact that I had a sip of alcohol. I would have to tell you if I did. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think I'm ever going to want to drink again. It's not that I don't want to drink. It's that I know it's just not the right thing for me. I mean, the healthier I can be, the better I feel, going forward. So yeah, so that's another day in the life of Erin, another day in my finding my sober fierce and staying my sober fierce, keeping my sober fierce, and hopefully helping you find your sober fierce. So a couple cool things happened this week. I actually so I have a great gal, Ren Caldwell, who does, all my real estate type marketing and, my logos and things like that. She helped me with my Sober Fierce logo. She's does certain things. And now I just found a gal that's going to help me with my Sober Fierce Instagram. And I have a Facebook group that I do some community stuff on, as well as a ton of other things. But she is going to help me with kind of building my Sober Fierce brand. So I'm pretty excited about that. I also have a great gal, Katrina, who's in my networking group, who that's kind of her specialty as well. So we're supposed to also talk today. So hopefully we'll all kind of collaborate. And I hope to have a Facebook Sober Fierce group really soon, so we can start kind of sharing things in the group. I don't even know what that looks like, but the idea of it is awesome, because I just want us all to be there for each other, to hopefully, someday build it up enough to where maybe we could all do some kind of event every year or get together someplace. I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I know people do all these big, rah-rah events. I'm not opposed to that. Don't know what that would look like. I'm probably way ahead of myself, but put it out in the universe and it might happen. So yeah, so I guess look for things to come. I hope to have a Sober Fierce hat on one of these days in these next episodes, because I'm going to be ordering those. And at some point selling those, I think, because I think if you feel fierce, you should show it. You should own it. And if you feel sober fierce, you should really own it, because we're taking over. I mean, I know that's insane, but that's kind of how I feel. Like, why should society tell us that we should be drinkers and that, wine is mommy juice and all that crap? I mean, and honestly, it would make me feel better about myself. I'm not a mom, but I mean, there'd be all kinds of reasons. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's this, it's that. It's like, there's always an excuse to go to the freaking store, and I get annoyed almost, because I shop on Costco online and have it delivered. And it's always the first thing on the screen is alcohol, because that was always the first thing I would go to. So my grocery bill and eating out bill is much less expensive. So that's another benefit, saving money. So I guess that's it for today. So I just wanted to get on here. I do have an awesome guest next time. She's a acupuncture master, or she's whatever in Chinese medicine. She's amazing, and she's does massage as well. And I really think that she's going to be able to talk to us a bit about things acupuncture wise, and so on, because she's super into like gut health and things like that. That if you're thinking about taking on this journey, or you're in the process of, and maybe dealing with certain issues, she might be able to guide you in the right direction on that. So I'm really looking forward to that. So until next time, find your sober fierce, and definitely it's about reframing your future. So I love you guys. Peace out. Bye.
Listen to more episodes by going to soberfierce.com.